Welcome to part 3 of the Japanese Maples in the Fall series. It's the 30th of September this morning, and yesterday I managed to tidy up the remaining part of the garden. So there's a few trees left to show you now. I'm going to start on the left hand side here. Now this one is Acer or Sakazuki. Now this tree was planted in September 3 years ago, 2015. The tree was 5 foot tall by about 12 inches wide, so it was very slim and had hardly any branches. Now this tree is about 6'6" and about 5 foot spread. The tree does get some full sun in the afternoon above the fence. As you can see, it has nice big dense leaves, nice dark green with tinges of a brownish red tone to them. Now the leaves that get the most sun, as you can see, are more of a rustier colour. Like a few of the Japanese maples, the new stem colour is bright red. There's a few leaves on the tree, that randomly goes red very quickly. Those reds look a lot darker than the camera's actually picking up. So this tree will go bright red in a few weeks. It's going to look quite impressive because of its size. Last year on the tree we seen in spring, the tree was covered in seed pods. But this year we haven't even had one, so whether that was because of the late spring bad weather. Moving on to Acer Orange Dream, which is mainly all red now. A few leaves are holding their creams to the top of the tree, and a few greener leaves left lower down. The tree's been going red for some weeks now, and I think it's due to the amount of indirect sunlight. The full sun in the afternoon comes from the behind this fence, so there is some sort of semi-shade there, but very, very bright. This tree, by the way, was a supermarket tree last year from Asda supermarket. It was only about £8. It's grown several inches. Seems quite a strong tree in itself, this one. Moving on to the back here, we have Acer Sukasa Silhouette, which is supposed to be the most compact Japanese maple. It grows tall, but it doesn't spread out much, so if you're stuck for space, this is the ideal tree. It's very column growing, like some conifers. Very compact. Lovely greens from spring till the fall. Tightly packed leaves as well, they grow like bunches. Some of those green leaves there tipped with red. Really is a nice, pretty coloured tree, this one. It will go all red in the coming weeks. Slowly grown. It's probably grown several inches since last year. Quite steady grower. In the front, this was sold as an Acer Emerald Lace in a Morrison's supermarket. It was a 99p sale because there was hardly anything on the tree. That was 3 years ago. It had a good prune and it really turned into a good shaped tree. Although this year, as you can see, it suffered quite a bit of dieback. Since basically the tree was repotted a year gone spring. Now the leaves on this tree are slightly different than our other Acer Emerald Lace. And this one seems to go red very quickly during the summer. Excuse me. Although the lower leaves do tend to hold some of their green. Quite a bright red on some of the spots of the tree as well, quite dark. So whether this is a different variety of Japanese maple than the Emerald Lace, or it's just slightly a different variation from the original source tree, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to get some of those branches pruned off in a few weeks when the tree's dropped its leaves and see what I'm doing. In the front here, I think this is a sycamore seedling which has grown itself here. I'll be digging this up in a few weeks and plant it in the countryside somewhere. Probably just on some waste ground locally, just to help the environment and give this tree a chance instead of throwing it away. And at the back here we have Acer Shiraz, which is quite a fast growing Japanese maple. This tree was only about 2 foot high in the summer of 2015, just 3 years ago. The tree's approaching 4 foot high and 4 to 5 foot spread. Seems to like the position it's in direct sunlight, but plenty of light. It's quite drab in the fall, this one, compared to spring and summer, where the tree's mainly bright pink with dark green insets to the leaves. It's lost a lot of the pinks and more of a green tone now. The edges of the leaves have turned from pink to almost white. There's new growth in a couple of places of this tree, which is quite unusual, but I've been told that it is normal. Bright red leaves there. It almost looks like a different tree altogether. This has been red since early summer, and I've also noticed the same over that back of the tree. This is the first time in 3 years I've noticed this red growth. It's different from our usual growth the tree puts out. Has a nice green trunk there, as you can see. And if I pull back a little bit and try and show you the full size of this. It's quite a striking appearance with its colours. And moving on to the last tree on this side, again planted in the ground. This is Acer japonicum contifolium. This is our other tree. We have 2 of these. Now this tree is seeing about 3-foot growth in some of those upper branches there since the spring. The leaves got damaged through the summer with the wind and the sun on that new growth, so I can try to show you here now. Just seems to have grown too quick, too fast, and there's been some recent new growth still, which has been affected by the weather and the cold. It's been very pinky red and it's just starting to die off there. All that was new growth. There's only a little bit left now. That's nothing to worry about because the branch is healthy. It'll grow. It'll continue growing next spring with new leaves. Might just be the tips that need a little bit prune. Bit of a random curved branch there. Excuse the light. Let that be pruned. This tree, which doesn't get as much full sun as the other one, is always about a week behind in its colouring before it catches up to the other tree. It has lovely big exotic leaves, several inches long. At the minute it's a mix of a purpley red with those dark greens. There's our little Japanese pagoda, which looks lovely against the leaves of this tree. They grow quite well, these varieties. This one seem quite hardy as well. As you can see, is some lovely bright red seed pods on the tree, which will soon be fallen very soon. And this tree will look stunning in a couple of weeks when it's covered in all sorts of colours. So basically that's the borders around the garden in the last 3 series. There's only a couple of trees I've missed out, which is Acer shirazawanum yasmin and Acer ricin, which is on the bottom of the garden on the little patio. And a couple of other little trees on the patio which you've seen before. So that's part 3. Enjoy this little series, and there'll be more updates on these trees in the coming weeks when the colours intensify. I better go because this video is getting quite long. It takes a long time to upload, sorry. So until the next time, take care and enjoy your Japanese, mateys.